Paul Azinger, 12 career PGA wins, 4 Ryder Cups. He won the 1993 PGA Championship. So, Paul, let's start with the first group. This is pretty dynamic. Tiger Woods, Dustin Johnson, who was number 1, has dropped now to 2, replaced by Justin Thomas, who is now the number 1 golfer in the world. I'm going to be watching that group. As far as pace and style of play, what do you make of that group?
You know, I think it's a great chance for Tiger Woods to show off a little bit to these two guys, and I hope he comes in there with that attitude. Shinnecock is a really hard golf course, and you're going to have to play a bit of a power and a control game there. Tiger's going to be looking at a couple guys that are probably going to blow it by him. Dustin Johnson and Justin Thomas are going to probably blow it by Tiger. And I wonder if that'll affect Tiger. You know, his ego, he loves to talk about club head speed and how hard he can, he's swinging, which is a miracle, as you know, Colin, with the fused disc and all that. But, I'm looking forward to that pairing. I think they're all coming in confident. None of those three have any baggage really whatsoever. I don't know how any of them are really particularly playing, because a couple weeks can make a big difference.
Sure.
A week or two can make a big difference.
But
they're confident.
You played at the U.S. Open. Generally, the course isn't as tight as the Masters. Being long off the tee can help. Accuracy can help because you can go off the rails in the U.S. Open. Did you like playing in the Open? Is there a vibe or a pressure that is different, Paul, than, say, the Masters or the British Open? Is it have its own culture and vibe?
It kind of does, actually. And it was always, some course every year, some championship every year is going to be the toughest one. And it's always been the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Maybe you've sprinkled in a couple in there, maybe where the players got on it and got way under par because of the conditions. But, there's not a tree at Shinnecock, and I feel claustrophobic when I got there in 1986. So it's a different look. It's so severe if you make a mistake.
Right.
And this year's it's unique. And I'm not sure if it's harder or easier, but in the past, there's been rough all around these greens. That's not going to be the case this year. And if there's rough around the greens and I shoot for a tucked pin and I miss by, 15 feet, I'm going to have a 20-foot chip. You could flub it on the green and have a 15-footer for par. But now it's going to run away because they've mown around there, and it might run 40 feet off the green. And now you're pitching off a nice lie. But is that going to be easier than if you're only 15 or 20 feet away from the hole? I don't know. I can't wait to see how that plays out. It's a different USGA, I think, than the one I played and Curtis and Faxon and all of us played. The fairways are wider here. I think they're addressing the issue of how far the ball goes, how far the players are hitting the ball. They still want them to hit driver because really there's two clubs you got to hit at a U.S. Open. And, driving it doesn't always mean driver either, Colin. Sometimes driving it means hitting that 1-iron or that 3-wood off the tee, but you've got to put the ball in play, and you always have to bring that putter.
The next group, and again, Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, and Phil Mickelson. Now, about a year and a half ago, Jordan Spieth owned the world. Not quite at the same spot. Phil Mickelson's 30-1. Those are tasty odds for me. Do you think Phil has a legitimate shot, in your opinion, in this group?
I think he does. He's going to be confident as well. He's had success here in the past. He easily could have won it in 2004. And I think he made double on 17 or bogey on 17, and Goosen made birdie, some flip right there. But Mickelson has the short game to play great any given week. If he keeps it in play off the tee, he can do it. McIlroy, he had a great Masters, but I'm sure he's disappointed in the way he closed. He had a putt on the second hole on the final round to tie the lead or take the lead, actually, over Patrick Reed. And I don't think he was quite ready for that, and I don't know if he's realized he wasn't ready mentally, or he may have just missed it. I may be reading too much into it, but either way, he seems to be playing well every week. That win at Bay Hill was actually fun to watch. And then Jordan Spieth, you never know with Jordan Spieth. I think he's got the short game to play well anywhere, just like Mickelson does. And that's how you stand alone on the PGA Tour. And when you go to the U.S. Open, you better bring your best touch, your best feel, your best attitude. Better have a great strategy, And then, what if the course doesn't fit their eye? That's another thing you got to consider. So there's a lot of things that are going to determine that 30-1 bet on Mickelson. I think that's great odds considering the course fits his eye.
I love watching him play. Next notable group is Bubba Watson at 50-1, Jason Day and Brooks Koepka. Bubba's always been a remarkable talent. Does his game fit Shinnecock?
Well, I'll just say this. Guys that fade the ball usually do well at U.S. Opens. You go back to the past and look, Tiger was fading it when he was winning U.S. Opens. Dustin Johnson went to the cut here recently when he's winning. And Bubba cuts it off the tee and draws it with his irons. He doesn't hit anything straight. That whole group is capable of hitting a cut shot. And in the end, I think Shinnecock is going to be a great faders golf course. And as I say, faders do well. It's Bubba. It depends on his attitude. He may get a bad break early and, just not feel like grinding it out.
Right.
You just never know.
No, I mean, that's Bubba. I mean, let's be honest about it. Bubba, sometimes he can be occasionally a moody golfer. That's okay. I mean, by the way,
yeah.
I love the NBA. I see moody players all the time. I mean, that's part of sports. By the way, the last notable group, Sergio Garcia with the Spaniards John Ram and Rafa Cabrera Bello. Sergio, who, by the way, you have to be patient when you watch him. He can be he can drive me crazy. That's an interesting group. Sergio's interesting. Now, we rooted forever for Sergio. Then, like his game, we lost patience in him. Where is he at going into the U.S. Open?
Well, I think we started rooting for Sergio, and then after they were trouncing us in the Ryder Cups and he was rubbing our nose in it, we didn't root for Sergio. And now I think we're back rooting for him again. But he said some things in the past that made you think he was never going to win a major championship, and he won the Masters. And, he said one time, I think there's outside influences. I don't know. But, yeah, it's easy to embrace Sergio. He's going to go right in the Hall of Fame. He's just like that, I feel. And what a ball striker. I mean, if I get 2 hours of break, I might run down and go watch that group because all three of those guys call on the ghost of Seve. They have magical short games. I mean, magical. And Rahm is built like Nicklaus when he was young. Peter Allis said a few weeks ago, I was at the Masters, and we're on air, and he says about John Rahm, he goes, my, his trousers are full of legs, aren't they? And I thought, they are. That's a great way to say it. But he's got Nicklaus's body. He is a powerful player. He's going to be breaking 70 when he turns 70. John Rahm will be around forever. And Cabrera Bello, I've known him a long time. He used to play out here in my hometown, and he always had a magical short game. It was just whether or not he could put the ball in play.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.